Alright, we're going to get started with 3B here. So before we get started, I'm going to just say a couple things about our class now that we're in e-learning and our class period has been cut in half. Really my expectation is for you to do about half what we were doing in class each day. So what I would normally give you 1 day to complete, I'm stretching that over 2, sometimes 3 days to give you plenty of time, because I know it takes you time to get logged in, check the Google Classroom, check to see how you're going to record your attendance for the day, all that good stuff. So hopefully I'm trying to keep the pace fairly slow so you can keep up. If you're having difficulties, please reach out and let me know. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and get started with 3B. So I just put a Jolly Rancher in my mouth, so I'm sorry if I have to move that around every once in a while. Oh yeah, that's good. Okay. So we're going to start by, you're going to rename this and save it in your Excel Chapter 3 folder. I already went ahead and did that for myself. So you can go ahead and do that step on your own. If you need to pause, go ahead and do that. Alright, then once you have it saved, we're going to go to cell B4 and type the year 2010. Then in the next cell over, so click Tab, you're going to type in 2011. And Tab again. And we have a pattern going on here, so we're going to go ahead and select these two and let Excel do the work for the next 3 cells over. So again, Excel is really smart. If you show it a pattern, it will copy that and continue it on. So we have the years going. Next, we're going to type in a fairly lengthy formula. It's going to be in C6. So that should be your active cell there. Type the equal symbol, of course, to get it started. And then we're going to do some parentheses work. So we're going to use the Shift key, hold that down, and then find the 9 key to open that parentheses. Then we're going to type in C5 minus B5. Close those parentheses. Alright, so let's see what we've got here. So far we've got a C5 minus a B5. So tourism that was spent in 2011 minus tourism spending in 2010. So we have a difference of about $1 million, almost $1 million. And in this row here, we're trying to calculate the percent increase. So between 2010 and 2011, we have about $1 million of increase. So we got the dollar amount roughly, but we want to know the percentage. So to find the actual dollar amount, we subtract you subtract B5 from C5, which is what we did. Then, to find percentage, we need to divide that number by B5. Then we want to press Enter. So the formula should have, or the result should have been $0.21, but because I don't have any decimal places, it displayed as a 0. So I just had to check my textbook here. It's supposed to be $0.21. So in order to get that to display, I'm going to increase the decimal places. There we go. So this is in accounting format, which we're probably going to change in just a second. Alright, so we're going to copy this with C6 selected. We're going to copy this across the board here. So you can see that these values have changed, and I'm going to click on one of these just to see what the formula is. So the formula changes because C5 minus B5 divided by B5. We've got D5 minus C5 divided by C5. Then we've got E5 minus D5 divided by D5. So as we move across the cells, the formula is increasing the appropriate cell names to calculate the correct value. Because none of these cells are absolute, it has the freedom to notice the pattern that we want and then apply it, which is actually good in this case. Alright, so in the formula bar, locate the parentheses enclosed. So we're going to just check out the formula here. And in math, we want to make sure that we do parentheses whenever we want something to take place first. So before we did the division part of the equation, we wanted to do the subtraction part. That's why there's a parentheses that has to be in place. Otherwise, it would do the division first and then the subtraction, and that would not be correct. So remember your math. Hopefully you've learned the rules of parentheses and the order of subtraction and orders of functions, things like that. If you don't know that yet, parentheses always goes first. Alright. Math is a wonderful thing. We're going to point to cell A2, which is our subtitle here. Okay, hold on a second. We missed changing these to percentages. Let's go ahead and select these. Change this to percent format. Now we're going to select A2. And we're going to click the format painter up at the top left-hand corner in the clipboard. Click that. Then click cell A8 to apply that to cell A8. Now point to cell F5. F5. Now we're going to right click, select copy. You get this kind of marching ants thing going on here. Then we're going to point to cell B13. And we're going to copy from this 2014 down here to this 2014. So we're going to right click this empty cell and we want to paste click that symbol to paste it in there. Okay, now we're going to calculate projected tourism spending. So we have the actual values for 2010 through 2014. And let's just say that we took a time machine and we went back to 2014. And we were asked at our staff meeting to project the tourism spending for the next 4 years. So 2015 through 2018, we're going to present to the city Pacifica Bay the tourism spending projections. So we already have the current amount that was spent, the most recent amount, and we want to estimate a growth rate. So we want to have C13 as the active cell. And then we're going to write a formula. So as always, we begin with the equal symbol. And then we're going to type B13, which is our value from 2014. And then the times symbol, which is the asterisk or the star symbol. That is like you hold shift, find the 8 key, number 8, and then press that one. Then we need some parentheses. So open the parentheses. And we want to do 100%. So you got to find the percent symbol, which is found in number 5 with the shift key, plus, and then this is an absolute value. So we want B10, which is our projected growth rate of 25%. So instead of just typing 25%, it's important this time we're going to just use the absolute cell value, which is B10. So we need a dollar symbol in front of those. So dollar symbol B, dollar symbol 10. Then we need to close parentheses. So basically that's saying 100%. Oh, I didn't want equals, I wanted plus. That's very important. Plus. So 100% plus 25% is basically 125%. So to calculate for 2015, we're going to take B13, which is this value, times 125%. That's going to give us the value for 2015, the projected value. Now that we have a formula here, we can copy this across to 2018. It is raining really hard outside. I'm a little bit concerned. I'm going to keep going. If this ends, you know something really bad happened. Ooh, man. It's really blowing outside. I'm going to try to continue without being distracted here. So we've got the formula copied across, and we're going to apply the accounting formula. We've got these hash marks here, so don't be worried. We're just going to increase the size of the cell here, auto fit, so we could format the cell, find the auto fit column width, Alright, so we're going to go ahead and continue on here. So the growth rate of 25% in tourism each year will result in tourism spending of approximately $27 million by 2018. So we're going to leave the row 14 blank. We're going to skip this row here. But in A15, we're going to type in estimated growth in tourism spending and then we're going to add 2014 to type into 2018. Press enter. We're going to use the format painter to copy format from cell A8 to A15. So A8 is right here. Use that format painter and then apply that to our new title here, subtitle. Now we're going to select the range A10 to B10. A10 to B10. Right click, and then we're going to click on this little arrow next to the fill color bucket. That bucket symbol, there's an arrow there. And we're going to choose a color. In the first column, click the third color. 1, 2, 3. Gray 25%. And then we're going to leave row 16 blank. We got 16 here blank. Then we're going to click A17. Then we're going to type year, enter, then 25%. Growth rate, enter, then 21% growth rate. Then we're going to select B12 through F12. Then we're going to right click, select copy, then point to cell B17, which is right here, right click, and then in the options click the paste, the first paste symbol there. And then we're going to select and copy the range B13 through F13. These values here. And remember that this is for a 25% estimate. We already calculated this. So we're going to go ahead and copy these values. Copy. Then we're going to paste this in B or C18. Actually, what? Actually, we wanted. Yep, that's right. Into B18. Paste. Alright, so what we did here is we copied from these cells down here, and I just want to show you. Let's deselect that. Just click escape. Notice in C13 there's a formula here. And if I go ahead and click on C18, I have a formula. The problem is if I change this value, this is an absolute cell value, B10. If I change B10, it's going to change all of these values because they're connected to a formula. So I'm going to undo my previous step. This time it's copied, that's why it still has these marching ants around it. I'm going to right click, instead of just choosing paste, which would paste both the text and the formula, I'm going to choose just the values. Actually, I want the values and, yeah, that's it. Now I want this to be an accounting format, so I'm going to go ahead and apply that, and then make sure this is set to auto fit. This added, for some reason, decimal places. Oh boy. Sorry it's taking so long. Alright, so what we wanted to do, instead of pasting the value and the formula, just paste the values. And now what I'm going to do is simply change the value for the estimated growth rate to match this value that I want it to be. So 21% is the next list of values that I want to display here. So quickly, to change the calculations, I'm just going to change this to 21%. And notice how these values will change when I press enter. So now I have the values to copy for 21%. So I can select these, right click, copy, and then here I want to right click and just paste the values. There should be one with formatting. Let's see. Nope. Let's just do the values, and then we'll do the accounting and decrease the decimal places by 2. So now we can see that we have estimated growth in tourism spending for these 4 years. We've calculated what the values would be if there was a 25% growth rate each year, and also if there was a 21% growth rate each year. And basically this projected tourism spending section here is where we can calculate that. So we can put any percentage we want to into this box and spit out volumes or values right here. So we used this calculator with, the formulas in these cells to basically calculate these values and display them here. Alright, the next part, we're going to be creating a chart. So this is a good place to pause and continue the next day.